What's going on, my Nick family? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. You know what? It's a great victory last night. It wasn't perfect, but we got the W, and that's all that matters. RJ Barrett had a game for all games. You know what I mean? One of those things we've been hoping for and expecting, and it finally happened. And I'm just excited, happy to talk about it. Let's get to get really into the whole point of breaking it down and maybe we can see if we feel like RJ can continue to do this, or if this was just an aberration and one of those things that just happened on one night. I think he can keep it going, but we'll talk about it right after this. What's happening, everybody? What's good? Happy Sunday, football Sunday. Just want to jump on and give y'all a little bit of this Nick love, man. Get our post game on. It was a really exciting game last night. I couldn't, really get into it too much because I was entertaining people over at my house. But it was enjoyable. I was kind of watching. I was like, getting my side clock on. I was watching it from the side as I was doing my thing, hosting and everything. So, but it was a really nice, good watch. Unfortunately, it did come down to another one of them things with these Knicks, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they keep doing this. Is it because they like dealing with adversity? Do they like the struggle? What is it about our team that when they're up comfortably against a team that they should be beating, they like to let them get back in the game? They like to let them, go out there and cut the lead and make it close and make it like a nail biter. Like it's one of those things where I feel like, maybe it's something. Does this tip say, hey, you know what, you guys have been doing good, let's make it interesting? Like what's happening here? Excuse me. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know why this team continues to want to put itself through all this, to have to work harder down the stretch just to secure a victory. And you know what, honestly, I think we got lucky. I'm gonna call it as I see it. I think we got lucky. I think the Knicks played really good basketball for let's say 2.5 quarters. I'm gonna give them 2.5 quarters. There was obviously times within that whole thing where they didn't play great on defense. They didn't make adjustments properly as quickly as you'd like, because the things that were happening on the court, like what Kira Lewis was doing to them, constantly blowing past everybody and getting to the rack, running baseline around them in circles. Like, I understand the guy is one of the fastest people in the NBA. Okay, we get it. But just because he's one of the fastest people in the NBA, that doesn't mean you got to let him run past you. Back up, try to cut off the lane as best you can and give him the jump shot. Let him show that he can shoot the ball instead of getting easy layups at the rack. Let's try to do something a little different and make him beat us a different way. Now, if he's hitting his shot from the outside, then we're in trouble. Like, if he's hitting from the outside and he's running to the lane and doing whatever he wants, that's a special player. There's nothing you can really do about that except continue to try to, stay in his face or send help. But we didn't see that from him. A lot of his scoring opportunities and the points he got were in the lane. He was just blowing past everybody. So that's one of those things, like, that's an adjustment that I think needs to be made. I know Tibbs won't do it, but I would have loved to have seen Deuce come into the game for at least a couple minutes just to see how he would go about defending him. I know it breaks the cohesion and everything that Tibbs has going on with the team. He doesn't like to mess up the chemistry, and he likes the rooks to just sit back and watch. But I just think that it's something to try to kind of see what happens on the court, and it shows the other team a little bit of a different look. They may not know exactly what we're going to do. They mean, oh wow, Tibbs actually played a couple rookies, or Tibbs did this, Tibbs did that. We can't necessarily game plan that he won't do it because we've seen him do it. I don't know. I just like sometimes being able to be spontaneous and mix it up, and I think it's something that Tibbs should kind of think about, because all it does is help the team. You're not doing something to upset the balance and say, okay, now that Deuce is in there, we want to funnel the offense through Deuce. So whatever. I'm just venting a little bit about not being able to see some of our young rookies. Even though I'm happy we're winning and I appreciate what's going on, I just think that at certain points, that's like one of his best attributes that Deuce brings to the table is his defense and his dog mentality. Wouldn't it have been nice to see him on a guy like Kira Lewis, who's been blowing by everybody on the court, and see if he can do something against him? Just me. I don't know. Anyway, but back to the game itself. So a couple takeaways from this was obviously Kira Lewis is a very fast player, and the Knicks could not stay with him, and he was able to kind of get around them, get into the lane, penetrate, and he could find people at will if he needed to, if they tried to double team him, because he just commanded that much. That's how fast he was moving. This guy was like the road runner. And you saw that Devontae Graham is still Devontae Graham. He's still a guy who can get them buckets when he needs to. So it's kind of expected. Like, he's a good shooter. And you knew he was going to get up for the matchup against his former teammate in Kemba, probably even a mentor type to him. So that was one of those things that you had to expect, and it is what it is. Now, the thing that I would say I didn't expect, even though I knew he was going to go out there and do what he needed to do, because he's a great NBA player, and that's Jonas Valanciunas. I knew he was going to go out there and be their best option and go and give the Knicks some problems. What I didn't expect is that he was going to have such a successful type game. Because what did he finish with? He finished with 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists on 10 of 15 shooting. That's not what I was expecting. And to me, that falls on Mitch, because even though Taj Gibson is a really good defender, he's undersized. And a true center like Jonas is still able to get to his points of attack on the court. He's still able to get into the paint and do what he likes to do against a guy like Taj. It's just the height difference, the skill set. It's a tough matchup. But for Mitch, who is our 7-1 center, who has a little bit more weight on him and who wants to get these Defensive Player of the Year honors and wants to be mentioned on the all-defensive team, you got to put up a little bit more of a front against Jonas Valanciunas. You may not be able to stop the guy, but you got to make it harder for him. And if he had 27 points on 10 of 15 shooting, that's not that difficult of a night. That percentage is really high. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he went to the free throw line 7 times. He was 6 of 7 from the line. Okay. But the point is, he was really active. And the 14 boards, come on. Come on, Mitch. Mitchell Robinson finished with 5 rebounds, guys. 27 minutes, he had 5 rebounds. That's, like I said, I've said in the past, I'm not trying to beat up our team. We love the Knicks. We just want them to play as well as they can. We want them to do as much as they can to secure these victories and create that winning culture and make it easier for them to sustain these victories and keep doing this stuff without having these struggles and battles down the stretch, because it's been very tough for them down the stretch of these games. They're falling apart. We saw a lot of craziness from Julius Randle on the court last night, meaning that he wasn't playing that well, and then he wasn't getting calls, and it seemed to clearly be frustrating him. So I think that's one of those things that they got to clean up. They have to clean up, and they got to figure out what is it that Julius needs to be comfortable on the court. Is it something that could help him so that he gets out of his own head, so he doesn't start doing what he was doing in that game? Because he seemed to be, really out of focus, out of sync, and you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that from him. You definitely want to keep Julius' head in the game. Oh wait, we starting early. Merry Grinchmas, folks. There we go. Oh wait, hold on. Bow. Yeah, so this is my rant right now. I'm on my Grinch rant, letting people know how I feel about what's going on. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm very happy that our Knicks won that game. I think that like I said, we got to figure out a way to get Julius's mind right and get him back to where he needs to be, because these last two games haven't been good for Julius. He's definitely not been like, I don't want to say it's focus, because the Bulls played good defense on him, so he's been facing some interesting competition against what he likes to do, and give credit to the Bulls. They studied what he was doing, and they definitely got in his head a little bit. So, and it looks like it's carried over to the Pelicans. Because I know the Pelicans defenders were not doing as much to him to affect his game. He just was cold. So I'm hoping that they're able to do something to kind of get him back on that Julius Randle level that we know, love, and expect. Because no matter what's going on, guys, we need Julius Randle. He's still a big part of our team. He's our guy, and we definitely need him. And it's much better if we move as one solid unit and have our best players playing their best basketball. That being said, we got to get into what was the best that we saw last night. And if you guys haven't heard me say this already, excuse me, had to get that out. RJ Barrett is my favorite player on this current Knicks team. I have been hoping for a breakout game from RJ all year. I want the best for him. I want the naysayers and the people around the league to stop, hating on RJ. Understand that he is a solid NBA player who's continuing to get better and better every single year. RJ Barrett has gotten better. Every single year, RJ has worked on something and improved. What more do you want from this guy? Like, what more do you have to see so that you can understand that he is one of the better players in that draft class? Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why there's so much RJ hate. I think it may be a New York thing. Maybe it's the fact that he doesn't let himself get too caught up in all this stuff. Maybe it's because he's from New York and they want him to have that New York fire and go back and forth with reporters and media. Look, that's not RJ. RJ does his thing the right way. Let him stay a young kid who's just getting better, and eventually he's going to be one of the better players in this league, bar none. And we're going to get back into RJ in a little bit. But first, I just wanted to kind of jump into the chat and just, salute to everybody that's jumped on, acknowledge. Pudge Nice, always a pleasure, my dude. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Stephen Fox, what's going on? Salute. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. Stafford Don, what's going on, brother? Always a pleasure. Let's see. Donald Cannon, what's up? How you doing, brother? Stafford Don, yeah, still okay. Stephen A. Stafford Don, yep, okay. And yeah, okay. Sports Vibes, yes, sir. Stephen Fox is legit, man. He's one of the good ones, man. We gotta appreciate him. And today's Sunday, that's right. So definitely tune into Sports Vibes tonight because you're gonna see Keith and Stephen Fox on Sports Vibes TV. So definitely tune into them. And oh, my man DSJ Delano Steele Jr. What's good? Salute, brother. What's good? Yeah, man. So I'm definitely happy with what has kind of taken place with the sorry, my fault, guys. What has taken place with the team, as far as getting the victories. But I am not happy with the fact that they are not closing out these games and they are letting these teams get back into it and putting us in a position where we are fighting to win these games when we're taking care of business, man. And I say we, but you know what I mean, the Knicks. Like they don't need to be going through all this and getting out there. Once again, the New York Knicks beat the New Orleans Pelicans 123-117. It was it's another one of those. It was a comfortable victory, but the Knicks didn't make it comfortable. They made it tough down the stretch once again. And now I'm going to get into the big point, which is if RJ Barrett doesn't do what RJ Barrett does, the Knicks lose this game. And to me, that is a big problem with this New York Knicks team. We are, complaining about the fact that we don't get enough respect as a team. We feel like we're one of the better teams in the league. We feel like we're one of the deepest teams in the league. Yet we go out there and we play good for let's give them credit. Let's even say we play good for 3 3/4 of the game, and then at the end of the game we just fall apart. It's like we forgot how to play basketball. We forgot how to play defense. We forgot how to shoot the rock. We forgot how to be smart and get guys good opportunities, move the ball, and get to the free throw line if our shots aren't falling. Like, what are we doing here? We're an NBA basketball team, and this is the third game. Once against Boston, twice against the Chicago Bulls, and now against the New Orleans Pelicans, who's not on the level of those two teams. This is not something that's we can't sustain this. If we keep playing good basketball and running to the point where we play teams like Milwaukee, even Indiana has given us tough times in the past. Who knows? Charlotte, the Washington Wizards, those teams, if we go into those games and we're beating up on them, and with the last 3 minutes of the games we fall apart, we're going to lose these games. We're not going to keep being lucky and finding ways to pull these games out. And specifically last night's game, we were only able to win the game due to one RJ Barrett. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, RJ Barrett was our saving grace. He went out there and he said, you know what? This is a moment where I'm going to show you guys that I'm that guy. You know what? I'm the guy, and you just got to understand that people need to recognize that I'm one of those players that I can do everything on the court, and you just have to understand that my time is now. You know what I mean? Give me the ball, give me the rock. And you could see even out there was times that guys on the court were not getting RJ the ball. Guys on the court were moving around. Julius had some points, weren't getting RJ the ball. And then finally, when nothing else was falling, when nothing else could be done, I guess Tibbs said, you know what, guys, RJ's our hot hand. We got to feed RJ. Because in the fourth quarter, they finally went to RJ and said, RJ, take us home. And if it wasn't for RJ, this game would be a loss and we would be disgusted. We would all be saying, what the hell just happened? How do we lose this game to the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 1-4? Yeah, but definitely, I mean, just look at how aggressive RJ was, taking it to the rack. Look at him getting his clear out on, or at least trying to get a clear out on. Oh, step back three, bang! Let's go, RJ. Like this whole game, this was the RJ show, ladies and gentlemen. RJ to the rack once again. Look at him slicing and dicing, and RJ's going good when he's able to get to the left. And yeah, he was getting to the left all night, and then just dumping it off. See, guys, this is an example of smart basketball. RJ was able to do what he wanted, got to his spots, and he was able to feed his teammates when they got him, when they gave him some resistance, when they gave him a double team, or if they jumped in his face, he was able to find the right guy in the court. Like, this was RJ coming out party, if you ask me. He showed flashes in the past, but obviously this is an NBA record game for him, and just the confidence, just the free flowing movement on the court. Another pass to Taj Gibson. RJ was in his bag to last night, ladies and gentlemen. He was feeling comfortable. Look at this pull up threes from RJ, guys. What have we been saying we haven't seen from RJ? We've been saying that he hasn't been aggressive. He hasn't been hitting the pull-up shots. He hasn't been taking it to the rack. He hasn't been getting fouled or creating fouls. RJ was doing everything last night, man. I wish I could put that game in a bottle and just say, you know what? Who we playing tonight? RJ, here, take that. Use this tonight. Yo, we need all of that from RJ. We need all of that. So I want to see more of it, man. I'm so excited to be able to see him go out there and do his thing. I just want to see more of it, man. I just want to see more of it. RJ is a good kid who came into the league and doesn't pout, doesn't care about the fact that he's not getting recognized and not getting the credit he deserves. He's just going out there and he's going to make you eventually, the NBA and the players in the league, they're going to take notice. Because he's not gonna let it stand that way. He's just gonna go out there and play his game, and you're gonna have to recognize him. So salute to RJ Barrett for doing his thing and taking over that game and allowing us to win the basketball game. Because without RJ, that's a loss, in my opinion. I don't think it's far-fetched, because there was nothing else going on in that game to say that down the stretch we were gonna win. Throughout the game, yes, other guys had good, contributed well, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. The other guys did play well, but as far as down the stretch, if it wasn't for RJ, we'd lose, because those shots are big, pressure-packed shots that, in the past, we haven't seen Knicks players hit those type of pressure shots in the closing minutes of games. We've always struggled with that. So that's another good sign, guys. Another good sign that at least we got some guys who can thrive in those situations. It's another thing to say that our main guy may have to work on that, because we've seen Julius kind of not always rise to the occasion in those pressure situations, but I hope it gets better. I really do. Back to the chat real quick. Just want to, Pudge Nice, you're right. Facts. RJ was on fire. Fuego, guys. Definitely. He was hot. And RJ took over with the pick and roll. Yes, that's another thing. The pick and roll. I have been saying that as a Knicks team, I don't think we use the pick and roll enough. I think I actually would like to see the pick and roll being used with Julius. I don't see why a guy who can do everything on the court, who is great with both his hands, who has worked on his dribble a little bit. It's a little better this year than it was last year. Why wouldn't you want to have pick and rolls set up for Julius? You know how damaging that could be to the opposing team, where you can run a pick and roll with Julius. He can roll, or he can, come off the pick and get the pass to somebody for an easy shot in the lane, or just pull it back and hit the jumper. Yeah, that's one of those things that we need to work on. You, Bud, you're right. I think Tibbs. I do say that I see Tibbs talking to Johnny Bryant a lot. They have their own little conversations. He seems he's the only one he does that with. But I think you're right. Sometimes Tibbs might get a little stubborn. Tibbs is still an NBA coach with that's got the pedigree. And sometimes he sees something on the court, or he doesn't think something is needed at a certain point. Johnny Bryant, if Johnny Bryant is the orchestrator of the whole Utah type offense that the Knicks are using, then you gotta go to this guy and listen to him. And for Johnny Bryant, I hope he does continue to incorporate these pick and rolls and these other type of plays to get guys like Julius and others open. Make it easier for these guys, because they're already showing you, I don't know if you guys saw the stat. I don't have it with me right now. It's all over Twitter, all over Nick Twitter and everything. The Knicks are number one in 3-point um, uh, shots made in the NBA right now. That's saying something, guys. That's in the NBA. That's not in the Atlantic or the Eastern Conference. That's in the NBA. The Knicks are number one right now, tied for that stat. So they're able to do what they want to do on the perimeter. So if you run pick and rolls and back cuts and screens, all you're doing is making it easier for a team that's already a really good shooting team. So we got to keep that going. We got to keep that going. And yes, you're right, Pudge. Kimba has been on one, man. Kimba's been out there and he's been letting it fly. And I'm definitely gonna talk about Kimba in a little bit. Knicks 100, salute. Good to see you, brother. There you go. Thank you, Delano. First in 3 points made and fifth in 3-point percentage. Yeah, that's what's going on, guys. Our team is real. It's a good team. Do we have to clean some stuff up? Yes. This whole thing that's happened in the fourth quarter of games is unacceptable in the last 3 minutes of a game. But imagine, I'm not going to keep harping on it because I already mentioned it last time around, but imagine if we had cleaned up this fourth quarter execution, these last 3 minutes. No double overtime against Boston, no little scare against Chicago, and nothing that happened last night with the Pelicans would have went on. And maybe we could have even had a better mindset and better approach when we played Orlando and pulled that game out. But I mean, we definitely could have been undefeated, comfortably winning these games, and that would have put the NBA on notice. See, right now they look at us, hey, okay, it's early in the season, they're 5-1, they look pretty good. But if we had won all, that Orlando game and cleaned these other 3 games, out the way that we were supposed to, whereas we closed them out without these issues at the end, the NBA had been like, yo, the Knicks look real this year. But don't worry, there's still time for the guys because it's a long season. And as I said, after the first month, we see who the pretenders are, and the Knicks aren't pretenders. We just need to clean it up so we can become, favorites down the line. At least one of the top 5 teams in the NBA throughout it all, I think. And I think, like I said in the past, I think we're going to finish with the 3rd seed because I think they have enough to get it done. Yep, Knicks 100. That's what happens when you have a new point. Yes. All that stuff about Kimba. What is he doing? What are we going to see from him? You guys are all starting to see it now. Kimba is getting comfortable, guys. He's getting comfortable. Yep. You want to give a little credit to Kira Lewis Jr., who was finding ways to give the Knicks resistance, whether driving to the rim or driving in dishing. I was talking about it a little earlier, Delano. Kira Lewis he's a nightmare out there. There's one thing you can't teach and one thing it's hard to prepare for, and that's incredible individual speed. He is one of the fastest. He's top 5, maybe top 3 fastest guys in the league. I don't know how often they do these little measurements as to speed, because right now, honestly, he seems like the fastest guy in the league because the way he moved last night, I was like, I haven't seen that in quite some time. I know De'Aaron Fox is pretty fast. Ja Morant's fast. But he is blazing saddles. I don't know. He's out there smoking dudes. Supreme System Lord, salute. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So you know what? Let's talk about the momentum changers. Let's get into these guys that actually did what they needed to do for us last night and affect the game in the best possible way to give us a chance to win to pull out a victory. So, and the thing about these guys is they all contributed. They all did what they needed to do to help us, but it still didn't matter because down the stretch it was all RJ Barrett. So we got to keep that in mind. Guys got to make sure that they know that that type of play is not going to work for us. We got to keep it going the right way. All right. Yes, sir. Let's take a look here. All right, guys. So if you see that, we're trying to give you a little bit new animation flow, little something to change things around. We're gonna keep doing it, but it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. So bear with us. Bear with us. First up is Mr. Evan Fournier. And Evan actually had a really good basketball game for our New York Knickerbockers. 19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. So he wasn't big in those numbers, but the 19 points came on 42.9% shooting from the field and 62.5% shooting from the three. 62%, ladies and gentlemen. He was 100% from the free throw line in 37 minutes. I'm not going to keep saying it because I feel like, I'm a Evan Fournier stan at this point. Evan Fournier is got to be one of the best additions that we've picked up in a long time for this Knicks team. He's just solid. Does he make mistakes here and there? Yes, he does. He's not perfect. I think he made a mistake last night on a pass that was given to him, I think by Randall or someone on the court. And it was like one of those, he just fumbled it himself. No one was really around him. Just one of those, concentration. He just kind of lost it. But I mean, he has been playing great basketball and given us, dare I say it again, what Reggie Bullock cannot give us. Now, in this time around, he did something that Reggie Bullock could give us, is that he shot great from the three-point stripe, and his scoring was primarily there. He didn't do too much to impact the game in ways that Reggie couldn't do. However, that's the beauty of Evan Fournier. He can give you what Reggie could and more. So when Evan's game is not kind of translating where he's giving you all types of assists or getting on the boards or driving to the lane and giving you other types of looks, when he's just out there shooting threes, he's potent. 62% from the three-point stripe. Guys, give it up for Evan Fournier, man. What an acquisition. What an acquisition. And definitely that's one of the keys for us because, there was moments in the game where the Pelicans were trying to get back in it. They were making their little runs and stuff. And Evan, big part of these shots that he was hitting to kind of sustain what we had going on was definitely key. And we, he's a part of the win. He's definitely is a part of the win. Next up is Mr. Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is finding his game with the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. He is out there. He's looking comfortable. And, I said it while I was watching the part of the game last night. Kemba, like I've seen Kemba in the past. I've seen his game. I know he could light it up in the past when it was, he was the focal point of the Charlotte offense. We've seen him light it up a little bit with Boston last year and the year before, should I say. But watching him with the Knicks, this is my first time really getting a look at him up close and personal because now he's on our team. And this guy is a sniper, man. His shot is pure. It's got that high arc. And when he's on, it goes straight through the net. It's nothing but net. Like this dude's shot is pure. Kemba is a great discount pickup for us. We got this guy on the cheap, and he is doing everything that we weren't getting from the guy that we won't mention and from our young rookie, not young rookie, but a young player in like Frank Ntilikina and all these other, role player / journeyman point guards that we've had on our team in the past couple of years that haven't really given us anything solid. Like last night, Kemba showed us not only the shooting, but he contributed in other ways. I mean, he had 19 points. He had 4 rebounds for a guy who's 6 feet or even under, depending on how you measure him. And he had 5 assists. The 5 assists, to me, is one of those things that our NBA point guards have to do. Like, if Rose doesn't have it or he's not able to get those opportunities, fine. But one of these point guards, one of the two, has to have at least 5 assists for our offense to be moving right and keeping the flow of the game. So it's great that he had, the 5 assists. He shot 54.5% from the field, and he shot 57.1% from the 3-point stripe, 75% from free throw line in 32 minutes. Guys, I don't know if you're seeing what's going on with this shooting of these Knicks. Evan Fournier shot 66% from the 3-point line, and now we see Kemba shooting 57% from the 3-point line. I mean, this is night and day compared to our team last year. We couldn't do this. We couldn't sniff these numbers. So this is great. Once again, great effort by Kemba Walker. I'm so happy he's here. He's back home, and he's contributing in a great way for our team. Another reason why overall we won the basketball game, because of the stuff he did throughout the game to keep us in the game. Like I said, I only get pissed off and harp on what happened in those last few minutes, and hopefully we can clean that up once again. And then last but certainly not least, the reason for last night's victory, in my opinion, and the guy who the NBA needs to start recognizing, Mr. RJ Barrett. 35 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 67% shooting from the field, 75% shooting from the 3-point line, ladies and gentlemen, 83.3% from the free throw line in 35 minutes. Hold on. Let's take another look at that. 66% from the field, 75% from the 3-point line. What? Oh no. Don't let RJ hurt him like that. Don't do it, RJ. Don't do it to him like that. And it's not 75% from the 3-point line, on 2 shots. He was 6 of 8 from the 3-point line, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett. The reason for that victory, our young budding star, and when all is said and done, it's probably going to be one of the best people in his draft class, if not the best overall basketball players from that draft class. So definitely salute to Mr. RJ Barrett, and I just can't wait to see what else this young man can do. I just, I think we've got a lot to talk about with regards to him and his NBA career. So this is fantastic. So definitely one of those things that we can look forward to, man. We've seen some really good things out of this young Knicks team. It's looking great. You see what's going on in the chat real quick. Be civilized. Salute, be civilized. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Knicks 100 said, on one hand, Quickly is horrible. On the other hand, he takes horrible shots. Man, Quick is going through something right now, man. And listen, it looks bad to us because we're watching every game intently and we're looking at this guy. We want everybody to do well, but it's still only the 6th game of the season. In a big season, it's the flip side of what we saw last year. Last year, Quickly came out guns blazing. He was taking the league by storm, and then he hit the rookie wall, right? Maybe this year he's coming out poorly, not feeling confident, not really finding his shot the way we're used to seeing it or the way we saw it. I can't say used to it because he's still a young player. We don't know exactly what he is yet. But maybe in the next, 10 games, Quickly's going to light it up, and then it goes from there. Just let's give it some time and see where it goes. But Quickly's definitely, he's in his own head right now, and he's struggling. He is struggling. Delano Steele said Kemba Walker turned to Kemba Curry with that shot. Yes. Yo, that shot is pure, man. I didn't realize it was that pure. Like, he's confident with it. I'm like, yeah. I guess what can we expect from a guy who hit the game-winning shot for UConn in the championship in college, right? Yeah, makes sense. Supreme System, I think it's an adjustment process for Kemba. Yeah, you just need time to get his feet wet, feel comfortable with another new organization, with his hometown organization. There's a lot to be said about that. Stafford, that's Knicks fans always throwing our players under the bus. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. That's how Nick, the Nick. It's not just even the Knicks fans; it's New York in general. certain places like New York and Philly, tough fan bases, man. They want everything quickly, and they're not, oh, no pun intended, and they're not happy when they don't see results right away. So it's definitely one of those things where we just kind of gotta chalk it all up that this is what you face when you come to New York, and you got the stones to be able to deal with the criticism, because this is a tough town to make it. But if you make it here, the saying, make it here, you can make it anywhere. But it's true. If you can, be successful in New York, any place else you go is like, we're preparing you. You know how they say, a lot of the guys that we have on this team, the young guys from Kentucky, they're very successful in the league. They're solid NBA players because Kentucky gives them that NBA game type feel and prepares them. Well, being in New York in this climate and atmosphere prepares you to be anywhere. You do good here, you'll be fine anywhere else. As a matter of fact, it'll be a breeze. You shouldn't worry about anything. Delano says Emmanuel quickly is going to be all right. He just needs to continue to develop. I agree. Just need some time, man. Just need some time. Knicks 100. The funny thing is D Rose shot looked right too. Yeah, well, you know what? D Rose got something going on, man. He dipped his pinky toe in the fountain of youth, or he dipped his pinky toe in the fountain of NBA 3-point shooting that the old school cats get. I said it already. I think he got that Jason Kidd disease, yo. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot for if his life depended on it. He still got a lot of triple doubles throughout his career, but he wasn't an effective shooter from the perimeter. He would score inside or maybe little jumpers here and there, but his layup package was solid. But as he got older, especially them Dallas days, this dude became one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. How do you even explain that, right? And I kind of think that if you give Derrick Rose those type of opportunities to fill it up, it might be the same thing for D Rose. He might be top 10 in 3-point shooting, because the way he's shooting right now, and as a Knicks fan, I'll take it. This guy Blanquito 21 says Trefes. What the hell does that mean? Nah, I'm just joking. He's one of my childhood best buddies, man. What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. IQ second year is more of an adjustment process due to us having a lot more talent. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you, Be Civilized. Delano Steele says sophomore slump is real. I said the same thing about RJ last season. We had a few consecutive bad games, and I'm saying the same thing about IQ. Sophomore slump is real. You're right. It affects every guy every young player at some point in that sophomore season. Some it just affects, worse than others. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now with IQ. Hopefully he gets out of it, because he, like I mentioned before, he worked too hard in the off season to work on his game with the expectations coming into this year. So we'll see. Don't play on my team if you can't take criticism. Facts. New York, you gotta have a solid will and tough skin, man. You can't come here and not be able to deal with the criticism. Salute, fam. Yeah. Okay. Stafford Don, after 6 games of last year, we loved quickly. Give me a break. You're right, Stafford Don. You're right, man. I'm not gonna say that I'm not giving up on Quickly, and I know a lot of Knicks fans aren't giving up on him either. We want everything. It's a vacuum. We want it now. We want to see all our young players do great. We feel like all the stuff that we saw last year and all the things that we witnessed from a guy like Quickly means that this year he'll be better. We saw him go into the summer league and be thrust with the keys to the team and be able to orchestrate and facilitate. And we just expect more from our guys. You know how New York is. New York is impatient, and the fans are the same way. So it's not a surprise that they're a little tough on him right now, and expect, like, I'm sure there's plenty of fans out there that want to trade Quickly. There's no doubt in my mind, because that's how New York is. New York is just our expectations are crazy. And sometimes our patience is really thin, but There's no need to be impatient with a 5-1 team atop the Eastern Conference, division, who is shooting the lights out and just getting better. Guys, let's not forget, we are doing all this and we are not playing great basketball for 4 quarters. We're giving you spurts of good basketball, and we're definitely not playing great basketball in the last 5 minutes of games. And that's the most crucial time. Just imagine if we clean that up. Patience. Blanquito 21, because Kid was surrounded by Dirk and other shooting savants. Yeah, I mean, well, hey, guess what? You know what? If you listen to what I just said about the numbers, about the numbers for the Knicks, Fournier shooting 66% last night from 3. RJ shooting 75% from 3. Kemba shooting 57% from 3. Seems like Derrick Rose is surrounded by some good 3-point shooters as well. Maybe they ain't Dirk, but as far as everybody else, they right there, man. They right there. Knicks 100, I never loved Quickly. Yeah. I mean, he's a gunner. So, when he's not shooting well, he leaves a lot to be desired. You kind of like, what are you doing out there? When he takes them wild shots and he's shooting from the logos and stuff like that, if the shots ain't going in, it's definitely not pretty to look at. So I hear you on that, but I still like him. I think he's got good spirit. There's something about him, his makeup. I like the dog in him. I just want him to, like I said, get out of his own head and just play basketball. Quickly is just like Mitch, overhyped and have as many flaws as Knox. I don't know if I'm gonna say that yet. Knox is rough, man. I'll tell you one thing. If you send Quickly out there in our next game, for example, and say, hey, Quick, you're gonna be the starting point guard. You're gonna play 25 to 30 minutes, run the team, facilitate, do your thing, but get everybody else involved. Quickly will have a solid basketball game. I don't know if that means he's going to shoot well, but I guarantee you Quickly is going to have around 6-7 assists. He's going to get 5 rebounds, and he's going to do other things, maybe get a couple steals on the court. Quickly is that type of player if you give him the role and the minutes. Problem is that the best role suited for Quickly? We don't know. I still think something keeps telling me that Quickly should just be focusing on coming in the game and being a shooting guard. And I think the Knicks need to find more spot up opportunities for Quickly, like what we've been doing for RJ. RJ is a really good spot up shooter. Give him the ball, on the wing or in the corners and let him shoot. Let's do that for Quickly. Stop giving Quickly the ball and telling him create something. Because then he has to do a couple dribbles to get his rhythm and shoot the ball. How about you get him opportunities where he's just standing in the corner? He's such a knockdown shooter. Imagine giving him opportunities where he's just wide open in the corner and can just shoot. Maybe it's just me. Delano Steele, if there's any criticisms I will offer to our guards with the second unit is to look up and Yes, sir. If they gave up the ball in key moments, they could have gotten their assists up with yes. Look, I think we're all noticing it, man. As Knicks fans watching these games, there's guys running up and down the court, Obi in particular, Mitch, even a couple guys that have been open. RJ was open in the corner. Like, there's guys being missed out there. So, yeah, that's something that these Knicks need to look at in practice. Knicks got like 6 or 7 coaches on the sidelines outside of Johnny Bryant. Somebody should be looking at what's going on in the court and say, guys, we're missing easy open opportunities out there. Let's get it together, keep our head up, and look for our teammates. You're right, man. That's big. Stuff like that would have made the game easier and probably never would have got us to the point where we start to fall apart in the last 4 minutes or 3 minutes of the game, because we would have had so many easy buckets, transition buckets, all this type of stuff. I agree with you. But you all disrespect Knox, who never had as many chances as Quickly or as Mitch. You're right. But you know what? I agree. Look, I don't hate Knox. I want Knox to succeed. I want Knox to be on this team. I want Tibbs to use Knox. But We're not the coach. We can only go by what Tibbs is putting out there, and Tibbs has said it on numerous occasions. He used to say you got to do really good in practice. Now he says you need to be great in practice. So what does that tell you about what Knox is doing? Do you think that if Knox is great in practice, that Tibbs is not recognizing that and won't get him on the court somehow when the Knicks are struggling? Or if Obi doesn't have it, or if a game like Randall doesn't have it, and you're playing a young team like New Orleans, and they've got a lot of long, linky, wings out there. You don't think that's a good time to showcase Knox and get him out there? There's reasons behind this, man. There's whatever's happening in practice, and maybe Knox isn't even getting a lot of opportunities to shine in practice. Who knows? But for whatever reason, he's just not getting the burn because something's not translating. Something's not happening. He's not stepping up or something, because I guarantee you there's no way you can tell me that Knox is not. If Knox is killing it in practice and doing what he needs to do out there, I think even some of these guys would ask about, Knox and see how they can get him in the game. Maybe not Julius, but maybe somebody on the team would like, look, you know what? Give Knox some of my minutes, man. Let him get out there. That's how teammates really, and this team is a real good team as far as camaraderie. They stick up for each other. That's what teammates do. They want the other teammates to succeed and shine. I wouldn't think that they wouldn't do that for him. I just think that he's just not killing it. I don't think he's having great practices, and I think that's the reason why he's not getting the burn. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. Sorry about that. Agree with Delano, the second unit. Yep. I hear you, Stafford Don. Knox was a project player who never won over fans or earned more opportunities. I mean, that's kind of been the knock on him. He just hasn't had the opportunities to show too much, but maybe he hasn't really earned them. That's what we gotta kind of look at. Whatever Tibbs demands in practice, that's the deal. Look at the past couple games. How come we haven't really seen Jericho Sims when we saw him early? Something going on there, man. That stuff comes with time and age, and sometimes players never get it. As some Knicks fans have said in the past, maybe this is not the right fit for Knox. Because I agree with you, Knicks 100. I think Knox can do something in this league, and I think on another team he'll shine. It's just maybe it's not the right fit for him in New York. Mitch, the only youth who never was forced to sit and telling me 5 rebounds is it. No, that's definitely not it. But you know what? Mitch can have a bad game too. And remember, this is still early in the season conditioning for Mitch. Mitch is going out there, and he may look good in one game and then look bad in another game early in the season, because it's let's not forget, they're NBA players, and technically they're supposed to be conditioned for this, but Mitch is not one of those who's had a chance to practice with the team like that. And remember, he was hurt and just doing his own rehabilitation on the sidelines. He wasn't able to really get a lot of run in. He didn't play in the preseason, so there's a lot of NBA game preparation and game conditioning that he hasn't been exposed to yet. He's getting it right now on the fly. So 10 games from now, then there's no excuses for him not being able to hustle out there and sustain, his breathing and all that. But right now, I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna say, you know what? He played against one of the best centers in the league, and he didn't really have it. And his effort, while it was okay, it wasn't what we want to see from Mitch. So I hear you, though. Need an example of my comment. Last season, when Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks were out, instead of inserting Knox, they elected to play RJ at the small forward. That's a good point. Donald Steele. Good point. Be civilized, stuff like that. We would be 6-0. Yep, we would be. We would definitely be able to have a much better showing out there and probably be undefeated. I'm not going to go on too much longer because I know a lot of people want to watch the NFL and football, so I don't want to take people away from that. So I'll wrap up in a little bit after I get into the matchup for Monday. Knicks 100. I'm not saying you run. You are always pretty even. I'm talking fan base in general. Yeah, no, you're right. I hear you. No, believe me, Knicks 100. What you're saying, I see. I get it. I know, and it'd be nice to get all of our guys involved nicely and get Mitch his time to shine. Knox his time to shine and be out there. And I just hope for the best. I hope that this team cleans it up and gets better prepared and much more systematic. Because another thing that's going on too is the fact that the Knicks are falling apart in these fourth quarters. We're not sustaining the leads and blowing these teams out. So we're not able to see the rookies. We're not able to see Knox get out there. So Knicks as a whole need to clean it up and do what they got to do so these other guys can get some time to shine, some time to at least be out there and get their feet wet and maybe show something in a few minutes that Tibbs, looks at and says, okay, let's get him out there. We'll see. Worldwide L, salute. Thank you for tuning in, brother. And if y'all haven't already checked out For Our Love of the Game, it's, with the number 4 OUR For Our Love of the Game, with Worldwide L and HQ and my man Hall Will. They got a great show. They definitely give you really good Knicks content, as well as they hook you to the boxing game. DSJ be on there with them, hitting the boxing game, giving you all the info. They're giving you music stuff. They had Father MC on there for those old school heads who know about Father MC. You know what I mean? They had an R&B singer out there. I'm sorry, I forget her name, but she's very talented. So they're giving you a lot of different content. They're a special channel, and they do a really good job. So definitely check them out. Salute. So notice when Tibbs discusses Obi and IQ, there's a smile on his face and specific points of how they perform in practice. When asked about Knox, it's the same comment. He plays well in practice. Hey, man, listen. That's Tibbs speak right there. That's that politically correct stuff right there. And y'all, we got to read between the lines sometimes. Sometimes that's what it is. And hopefully Knox gets it together and does something here. But like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing him somewhere else where he can have a different type of system. Maybe the expectations for certain things on the court that maybe Knox is not good at are less. Maybe he goes somewhere else and they're not focused so much on what he's doing in regards to defensive pressure or principles, and maybe they want somebody who can go out there and light it up and give them 3-point shooting and be one of those stretch forwards that can impact the game in different ways. So we'll see. Making runs on Knicks platforms. Facts. Worldwide L says Mitch does other things out there besides rebound, clean up for the whole team. Players are getting beat on the regular on this team. That's a fact. He has to hold court down there in the paint because the guys are still getting. Now, I will say I have noticed that Kemba has been doing a better job of keeping his guy in front of him. He still gets beat. And then I'm not going to talk about Kira Lewis because Kira Lewis can beat anybody off the dribble. That dude is the road runner. He can beat anybody off the dribble. So I'm not going to kill Kemba for that. So, but yeah, he's doing a better job. Tat Face, New York City. Let's go Knicks. Salute. Thank you for tuning in. Worldwide L. Nigga nod to the utmost. Facts. God bless. Yes, sir. Yeah. Worldwide L. Always pretty even. Yes, he is. He's very even. Yeah, his takes are very salute him. His takes are very even. Yeah, he's very level-headed when it comes to this stuff. I agree. All right. So let me get back into this real quick and kind of want to go into what I believe is the next opponent for the Knicks. We play the Toronto Raptors on Monday. And that is I guess this is going to be one of the first times we face this new look Raptor team. They got a lot of young players. I like guys like Precious Achua. Precious Achua, by the way, if people don't remember, he was one of the key players on that Nigerian Olympic team that beat the United States in the Olympics. They was giving them the business, and Precious was all over that game and his defense. And he's a solid player, man. I like his game. I wish. Excuse me. Now, this is no knock on Jericho Sims. I like Jericho. I'm glad he's on our team. I think he can be a force for us, and if we cultivate him and bring him up to speed the right way and teach him what he needs to do on the defensive end, and give him some comfort on the offensive end so he feels like he's contributing, he could be a really good player, good piece for our team. But if we would have had Precious Achua, I would not have been mad, because Precious is he's not a center. I mean, he's a center, but he's just not like, he's not big like size wise like Jericho is. But yeah, man, Precious, yeah, man, he's a nice player. We definitely could have definitely used him in our system. So, but the matchups to actually watch in this game to me are Kemba Walker versus Fred VanVleet. I think that's going to be one of those that it's going to be really interesting, because Fred VanVleet is not a tall guard by any means, but he's definitely effective out there. He definitely can do his thing. It's going to be a tall order for Kemba to kind of stay with him and all his little savvy stuff that he does. But on the flip side, it's going to be a little tough for Fred VanVleet to deal with Kemba as well, the way he's playing currently, even though Fred VanVleet is a very good defensive point guard. So I hope Kemba's still able to do his thing. And this will be a good barometer test for Kemba to see. We'll be able to see if Kemba is really that dude and he's still, got it against all types of competition. Because, the guards he's been playing in these past couple games, he's been able to take advantage of in certain spurts, because like Lonzo wasn't really focused on dealing with Kemba. He was dealing with Julius and others. So this should be an interesting matchup for them. And I expect Kemba to have a solid game. And I expect Fred VanVleet to have a solid game too, because, it's going to be a harder on the defensive end for Kemba to kind of slow him down. Next matchup is not as crucial both ways, but I still think it's a very good matchup, because OG Anunoby is a good defender, right? Offensively, he can do a couple things. I mean, he's nothing, nothing too crazy to talk about on the offensive end, but he can do some things. And on the defensive end, he's a solid player. So him going up against RJ Barrett, especially after RJ having a career night against New Orleans, this should be very interesting. And I hope that I don't expect RJ to do what he did last night every night, but I hope that he can build on that type of play so he can have a game against Toronto where he puts up around 20 points and gives you, 4 or 5 assists, something like that, and gets like 5 rebounds. I hope he can continue to go like that on efficient shooting, because one of the things we all kind of mentioned, myself, my co-host John, and other content creators, we expected RJ to be more efficient this year. And it's, we saw him get off to a slow start, but look at how efficient he is now that he's got it going. It's very nice to see. So I expect to see a little bit more of that going forward tonight. And then lastly, I expect Julius Randle versus Scotty Barnes to be the matchup of the night. Scotty Barnes is a good young player who affects the game on the defensive end as well as the offensive end. He's just a solid player. Like he's like a throwback type player to me. The way he plays out there, he gives you that presence, like he's been in the league, for quite some time, and he's a rookie. So this should be very interesting. And I hope that Julius can get over whatever he's been dealing with regards to his shot, and he can get back to his normal game. So I expect a good game from Julius. I expect at least 25 points from Julius and kind of back to the old ways that we're used to from him. And then, because the other thing about Julius, sometimes he gets into his own head too, and starts to bring the rest of his game down. Once he's not going right and he starts complaining with the refs, not getting calls, and he's not happy with things on the court, it affects everything he does. He gets lazy on defense. It's horrible. It's horrible to watch. And from a guy who is trying to become a superstar in this league, we need more from you, Julius. We need more. We definitely don't want to see that. So hopefully he comes out and gets back to his old ways. Before I wrap up and get up out of here, once again, another salute to everyone in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Tap Face, we got the best bench and good starting lineup. If everyone steps up, we can win a championship. Hey, you on the evergreen train? I see you. I'm not against it, man. I'm not against it. I hope that that's the case. I definitely want the Knicks to do great things, and I want to see some good positive basketball from them for the long haul, and maybe we can shock the world. But I'm not there yet. They got to clean up how they close out games first for me to even think that they're like a championship contender. Because I'm telling you guys, we have been fortunate. We cannot play like this against championship contending teams. The Brooklyn Nets have not been playing well, right? They haven't been playing good basketball. James Harden has been dealing with all types of stuff with these new calls and with the refs. And yet, I don't think we can beat the Brooklyn Nets if we play like this, down the stretch of basketball games. We can't go out there and put up points on this team and show them that we are better than them and they need to focus on how they can stop us. If we get to the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left and can't close out games, they have enough players on that team that they will beat us. Okay. Another thing we've been fortunate with is that when this stuff has been happening, we've been lucky enough to find the ways to get, calls down the stretch that have benefited us, or we ratcheted up our defense to kind of hold the other team from scoring that one extra basket to take the lead. We can't do that every night. We just can't do it every night. And we saw with Boston, they did it. They tied the game. Fortunately for us, we were able to pull it out in double OT, but we could have easily lost that one. So the one thing I don't appreciate is the reputation of Mitch with the fouls. Refs blow the whistle and don't always need to because there's no actual foul. Yeah. I don't know if that's one of the new things around the league where they're trying to clean things up. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, it's definitely happened. We get a tale of two cities. We get one set of refs that calls everything, and then we get another set of refs like in the Chicago game that was letting them play, which I like that personally and you don't want to see it because if I'm not mistaken, guys, I don't know how many of y'all have watched that Chicago Bulls game over or have it, right there in your mind. I thought we might have, had a clear path down the stretch in the fourth quarter that they could have called on us, and they didn't call it, if I'm not mistaken. But they could have easily called the clear path on us. And the other thing is that last shot of the game, when RJ played that great defense, didn't it seem like Julius Randle threw that guard down on the ground when he was going for the rebound? I think it was Lonzo. I feel like he threw Lonzo down on the ground, and another set of referees could have called that, and I would have been sick, and it would have been game over for us. But this is the type of stuff, man. We got to clean up this type of play. I don't know if it was a flop, but it looked like Julius might have actually threw him down. So, civilized. DSJ, I'm glad Precious Achua is no longer with the Heat. Capable defender who plays a bit like Bam. Yes, he does. Okay. Winning championship if everyone steps up at all times. Yeah, man, listen. Anything can happen. Nothing but Knicks in the building. Salute. My man Sim, the Podfather. What's good, brother? Salute to the Podfather Sim. Nothing but Knicks. SJ. OG Anunoby is a sneaky good player. Got to know where he is on the floor at all times. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. When I say that he's not somebody you look for in the stat sheet and say, yo, what did OG Anunoby do tonight? But he's one of those guys. He's a professional NBA player who's good on all. He's like a probably as you know, as good as maybe the guard from, or is he a small forward from Phoenix, who we did not draft, the young guy who everybody wanted us to draft, and I always forget his name. I know his mother was affiliated with the Mets, I think. I always forget his name. Bridges, Miles. No, Macau Bridges. Sorry. Yeah. Anunoby gives me those Macau Bridges vibes. Salute. Scotty Barnes' defense is very impressive. Randall needs to get him in foul trouble early. Yep. You're right. Salute. Respect. Yes. The family is growing, baby. Let's go, Knicks. Tapface said the New Jersey Nets. Yeah, we might have to start calling them New Jersey again. They definitely playing like they're from New Jersey. No. Nah, I'm not gonna disrespect them. I like the New Jersey Nets back in the day, man, when they had my man Drazen Petrovic, and they had some good players out there, Kerry Kittles and Derek Coleman. I respected those teams. Definitely respect. NBK in the building. Yeah, man. They ain't no love for the Brooklyn Nets on this side. DSJ says Randall still needs to learn how to close out on his assignments. They're still getting open looks from the perimeter, and that can prove detrimental. Facts. It did look like Randall threw Lonzo Ball down, but yeah, man, I'm telling you, Randall is a freaking brute. He's lucky that the refs don't want to frustrate him more. I'm sure they could call even more things on him that'll have him going nuts, because he be wilding out sometimes, man. Randall's got, what Randall's got? Maybe is it a power forward thing on the New York Knicks? We had Morris was kind of rough out there, but we needed that. But he wasn't always like, I'm not going to forget that I brought up Morris, because when Morris made fouls, he knew what he was doing, and he did it on purpose. He wanted to give the opposing team, some strong physical presence. He did what he had to do. And there was sometimes that I watched Morris when he played with us. He just go up to dudes and chop them. So he had a point to his madness. But Randall gives me those Carmelo vibes on defense. Have you ever noticed, guys, Carmelo's with us, 7 years, maybe? Ever notice when Carmelo would try to play defense, because, he wasn't the greatest defender, but when he would try to play defense, he would rear back and do that swat that he always used to do to block shots. He would take your head, whatever. He would hit whatever's in the way, it's going with Carmelo's arm. So he had kind of like that type of defense with him. Randall's got that same type of thing, but he just does more of it. And he uses he's just so physical that sometimes he's too physical. I like him to see, to try a little finesse here and there. Not all the time, because we need that presence. That physical way of play is how he gets so many rebounds, because he just goes and gets it. But sometimes you got to finesse it up a little bit, man. You can't be the brute all the time. I feel Randall's gradually getting there little by little. Remember, dude is still learning how to be a number one option, as well as get familiarized with his teammates. That's true, too. It's still early in the season. He's got new guys. Last year, he was used to being the man, and now he's got guys like Kemba and Fournier that command respect out there, and they deserve to have the spotlight, too. And most importantly, guys, there's a new sheriff in town. Is he number one? No, but he could be number two. We could be in a mix where it's no longer, Randall and then maybe Kemba, maybe Fournier, and then RJ. It might be Randall and then RJ, then Kemba, and then Fournier or Rose, whoever it may be. So, and it should be that way if you ask me. And I think by the time we get in the middle of the season, I think RJ will become that number 2 option. As long as he keeps doing and playing the way he's playing. If he's not hitting his shots and not playing the right basketball, then it is what it is. But I think he will. The Raptors are a kryptonite, too big and skilled. Could be a problem. We could be in for a lesson. I hope that's not the case, because I think we should easily be able to. No, let's not say that. Sorry, guys. My fault. I did I did you one of those common sense type things. The Knicks are better than this team, so it should be easy. No, we've already seen what happened with Orlando. We already seen what almost happened with the Pelicans. Nothing is easy for this Knicks team. I don't know what it is, but nothing is easy. Salute one half of Still Knicks fans, John in the building. Shout out to the fam. What's good, my bro? As always, brother. Wish you were here, but you know what? We're gonna do our thing, y'all. Y'all look forward to seeing us on our regularly scheduled show. You may see that tomorrow, or you may see it on Tuesday. And then we got a couple other things in the pipeline you're going to see. So we're going to continue to keep giving you that tandem, that dynamic duo of content, as well as I will continue to get on here and give you these post games, as well as maybe some special guests and don't get me wrong, chat. I definitely want to incorporate you guys a little bit more into the mix and get some of you guys on to start talking more Knicks. So we'll get it to the flow where everybody's involved and y'all all can have y'all say and get on and we can chop it up. So it's gonna happen. Just bear with us. Kind of taking it slowly right now, but it's gonna happen and we'll get everybody else involved as well. I appreciate all y'all and you guys have great takes. Salute. Let's talk about how Mitch gave up 2 baskets at the rim in the last minute versus Bulls and Pelicans. Look, Knicks 100, man. I'm not gonna. I can't go against you with that. You're right, Mitch. Sometimes his head's not in the game, man. I don't know what he's thinking about. Maybe he had, he's got other things that he's focused on at the time, or he's just, I don't know what happens. We saw there was Vucevic in the Bulls game. Mitch gave up 2 or 3 wide open threes to him. And when you're playing on the perimeter and Vucevic is out there, what else is he going to do but try to shoot that shot? I don't know how you give him that much room, right? And then at the end of the game, we saw when the Bulls game was getting crazy, I watched Tibbs call the timeout. All the team was huddled around him. Mitch got up and walked to the left and sat down by himself because obviously Tibbs told him, you're getting out of the game and I'm putting Taj in the game. And I just watched that because I look at little things like that. The good thing about it is Mitch didn't have a face. He just was taking it in. But I guess once he found out he wasn't going to be in the game, he didn't bother to want to be in the huddle to hear what Tibbs' plan was. But this is the type of stuff you got to look at. Tibbs benched him in those last couple seconds of the game because he wasn't doing what he needed to do. So you're right for bringing that up, Knicks 100. That did take place, and that's what's going on. He's got to clean that up. King Ribby, salute. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you. No one said a word because Mitch, this fairy tale defender. Yo, you not letting it go, huh? Knicks 100, you ain't letting it go. You said, you know what? Today's the day I'm gonna let it be known. Mitch need to work on some things. You're right, man. You're right. I'm not gonna say he's a poor defender yet, though. Do I think that maybe his conditioning and everything is not up to par yet, where he gives you 4 quarters of Mitch type defense? Yes, and that's mental too. Because even when you ain't got it physically, sometimes you can just put yourself in the right position. Hey, I'm gonna stand right here. Whoever comes in this lane is like a mini zone on my own. When you come into this area, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick my hands up and just jump straight up. That's all you got to do when you ain't got it. If you can't really move your feet, just stay in that area. Even if you get beat with like little jumpers in the corner in that little 18-foot spot between the line and the paint, sometimes you got to give that up. As long as you can continue to jump straight up and protect that lane, That's how you get by. I only say that because when I was young, I'm 6'5", so they had me as a big man, even though I didn't want to be. So I know what you're supposed to do. Doesn't mean I could do it. RJ, then Randall. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, King Ribby. So you basically saying RJ is the number one option? Oh man, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna give up on Randall yet, man. I think Randall's he's won some games for us, and his play helped us big time last year. So I ain't gonna give up on him yet. I'm gonna still say he's number one for now, and RJ could be that number two, and I think he'll earn that. But if you're right though, if something clicks with RJ and he becomes that number one, like the way he could become more of a number one option for this team is not necessarily scoring, it's facilitating. Maybe he gets so comfortable out there that Tibbs starts letting RJ run the offense sometimes and facilitate and start finding other people because he's getting so good at it. We'll see. I don't want to put too much on his plate. He's still got to be our best perimeter defender too. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I think. All right, I see what you're saying. Have a great day, Knicks family. All right, Tat Face, appreciate you. The guy going off Glass versus Mitch. Yeah. I knew exactly what he was referring to because I did see it. So salute. If you're talking about Mitch Robinson giving up baskets, probably because the foul situation I addressed earlier. That could have had something to do with it. Oh yeah, I mean that's a good point, DSJ. Yeah, because we know that when foul situation, Mitch gets in foul trouble. His game is not as aggressive anymore. He tries to kind of just keep be like an able body in the lane and be there, and he doesn't take many defensive chances because he doesn't want to get thrown out the game, or fouled out the game, should I say? So that there could have a point there. I wasn't paying attention to that, like I said, because I was entertaining in my house at the time. So I'm just looking at the game from the side. So I couldn't see everything that was going on. Yeah. Worldwide L says, let's talk about the 1,000 shots he changed during the same game. Yeah. Mitch is still a presence. He still affects the game. And I'm giving him more credit for that. I don't know if y'all remember my takes with regards to Mitch. I have had this thing where I want Mitch to give us double doubles and like at least two blocks each game. Because I think if you want to win Defensive Player of the Year or be in that conversation, the numbers have to kind of speak for themselves. But what I didn't realize, and I've been watching the past couple games. Last night, I can't say because I'm gonna have to watch the game back, which I'm gonna do in a little bit. Mitch affects a lot of shots on the court where he may not get a block, but his presence and what he does to the opposing team's players when they come into the paint, or even if he jumps out on the perimeter, he affects shots. He just may not get the actual block. So he has been doing that. And I think that's the stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheets. That's more of you watch the game, you see how he's playing and what he's doing. So I'm going to give Mitch credit for that. I wasn't giving him credit for that in the past, and I apologize, but that is big. He does affect a lot of shots. So you're right about that, Worldwide L. White Falcon, salute. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I think Mitch doesn't want to cost us games due to the bad foul calls from refs due to the same foul reputation. Yeah. And that's another thing, you guys, we all have to watch that because Mitch he used to get a lot of ticky-tack fouls in the past. He's cleaned that up a little bit. He's worked on being in better position to avoid those calls. But in this early season, he's starting to get some of these calls. And let me tell you, that flagrant foul that he got on Patrick Williams against the Bulls, that's an eye-opener for the league. These referees and their systems and their people that punch in these numbers, they watch that stuff and they start to look at what type of players get that reputation for these type of fouls. So don't think they're not watching Mitch closely and calling things, the same way. So that's another good point, man. You got to watch that because Mitch definitely might start to get a little reputation. We got to watch that because it's going to affect our team. I think Mitch is being cautious due to fouling out and getting injured is probably rushing through his mind. I definitely agree. Another thing, that's another good point. Mitch did get hurt in that Bulls game. I thought he was going to be done for who knows how long, or at least done for the rest of that game. He came back, but still very tender. I said on one of the other shows, I said that I don't know how Mitch's body is going to react to taking that. Anytime you twist any part of your body, ankle, whatever, it's going to get sore. No matter what, if you ice it down, a couple days later, you're going to be sore. And so a couple days later is a game against the New Orleans Pelicans. We don't even know if Mitch was feeling 100% out there trying to jump on. It's not like it's his arm or something. It's his legs that he needs the most to be able to jump and get into people's faces. So it could have been bothering him too. It's not shooting him bail. It's just realistically, we know he hurt his ankle. 2 days later, he's got to play a game. It could be affecting him. Maybe he's not what we used to seeing from Mitch right away. So White Falcon still Knicks fans. Yo, White Falcon is going to go on every platform he can and argue that we need to trade Randall. Yo, I got to give you credit, though, man. You passionate. You diligent about it, yo. You making the rounds, and you definitely letting it be known that you want Randall out of here. Trade Randall, Knox, and Burks for PG-13. Kimba, RJ, PG-13, Obi, Mitch, Rose, Fournier, Noel. Look, quiet is kept. White Falcon, shh, don't tell nobody. This is between me and you, brother. I don't want to trade Randall. But if there was a way we can get PG-13 over here and not trade Randall and still have that type of mix, maybe trade Burks, Knox. Maybe we have to get rid of someone else that we don't want to get rid of and get rid of some of those draft picks. Shh. I'm okay with it. Don't tell nobody, though. Okay. Anyway, big task at hand. See, I got it right this time. What's up, man? Salute. Hope all is well. I'm worried about the Knicks. We're slipping on the defensive end of the floor. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You are not lying there. That is the case. We are definitely slipping. We got to get it together, man. Things are not happening the right way. Mitch cleans up for the whole team. Each player has gotten beat by the back door. Mitch helps out a lot in those plays. Yes, he does. Worldwide L, you are right. Worldwide L, I can pay 2 guys to do what Mitch does. Oh, man. Yeah. No other player on the Knicks does what he does. Noel can't guard the pick and roll. That may be true. I will say that Mitch is definitely more athletic and can move better off of the pick and roll than Noel. But on the flip side, man, what we missing in the paint, all those blocks that Mitch doesn't get, but he affects the shots of, Noel gets those blocks. No, if you guys, if we get Mitch and Noel healthy back there, we can take this league by storm, man. We can really affect these games, and we can get a little nickname for these 2 guys. Something having to do with locking down that paint, because the 2 of them together, getting one after the other, or even at some points, who knows? Nah, I don't think we'd see that. But wouldn't it be interesting if we saw Mitch and Noel guarding the paint? Ooh, we at the same time. You lose out on some shooting, but that's why you got to have a mix of. I would actually like to see something like that. Imagine Kimba, Fournier, RJ, Mitch, and Noel playing a type of lineup like that here and there. You got the shooting on the perimeter. You still got the slashing with Kimba, Fournier, and then what we see from RJ, and then you got the 2 bigs cleaning it up. Make a note of that. I might have to check that out. That might be one of those lineups. Is Mitch really better than Claxton on the Nets? That's what I mean. I know right now it looks that way, Knicks 100, but yes, he is. He is. He will. You'll see it. Just give Mitch some real time. Let's not forget, we're still Knicks fans and we're jumping out the window early. It's the 6th game of the season. RJ Mitch didn't play basketball since last March in an NBA game. Give it some time. If after what's a good amount of time? Let's say if after 15 games, Mitch is still not playing consistently, you still don't like what he's doing, he's still not showing the effort all the time on the defensive end, he's still getting beat easily when he shouldn't, then I'm with you. And then I'll even say to you that maybe we need to look at some other alternatives and maybe we shouldn't give Mitch the bag. I think the Knicks are waiting to see how it all plays out. They want to get through this first part of the season and see what they got out there. Right. All right. Noel fits this team better than Mitch. I think Noel does different teams that may fit our defensive strategy better in certain cases. But I think when Mitch is right, when Mitch is still growing into that new body of his. Remember, I even joked the other day on one of I think it was Uncle Freezy's show. I said, "Yo, what happened to Mitch's bounce? Mitch still don't look like he's right there with his above the rim stuff all the time." So he's still building on that. It's conditioning and getting right. If he gets right, Mitch might be a terror out there. Where I'm comparing him to Noel for the money we gave him. Yeah. Nothing but Knicks. Maybe Mitch wants to be our enforcer. We need one. Can he develop to be that player? Yeah, maybe he can. Maybe he can. And I think that the problem with what's going on with Mitch is just conditioning. I think we got to give him that time to just get right before we can really judge his game. We don't know exactly if this is who he is until we've given him at least a good amount of games to see how his legs are doing, his conditioning, and then we'll be able to judge him fairly. I think right now it's still a little too early, still a little premature. But I definitely think Mitch has that mentality. He wants to be that guy. He wants these defensive accolades because he wants to be that guy, and he's gonna try to get there. But maybe mentally with the injuries and him tweaking injuries, he's not feeling that comfortable going all out. So we'll see. Jameson, salute. I love my Knicks, but man, has anyone seen the Wizards play? Oh man, listen, I know the Wizards are doing some things out there. The pieces they've acquired, they've got a much better defensive integrity out there. They're doing what they need to do to win these games, and they're shocking a lot of these teams right now. Can they sustain it? I don't know. I think they may be pretenders, but if I'm wrong, then what does that say about their team last year with Westbrook? Was he the problem? We're about to find out. Like I said, that 15 to 20 game mark, we'll see. If we go 20 games into the season and the Wizards are still at top of the Eastern Conference playing this way, maybe Westbrook was the problem. Maybe Bradley Beal just needed his team back. We'll see. We'll see, guys. What other teams paid for their center? What other teams pay for their center is on this team? Our center does things different for us. Oh, I see what you're saying. Worldwide Al. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I mean, listen. Other teams have different types of centers that affect their teams in different ways. For us, it's more of the defensive end. We don't have a lot of centers that command the stage on the offensive end. Yeah, we can get Lob City on them once in a blue, but we don't have that mix. So, what guys like Mitch and Noel bring us is special. It's different, and we definitely need that in order for us to sustain this winning mentality and pull these games out. And we've been missing that. And maybe that's what we was missing down the stretch last night's game. You want to say maybe if Mitch was able to do more on the defensive end in the paint, maybe that would have helped us. But I think they got back into it shooting threes too. So Mitch can't do everything. Knicks 100. Wait till Noel gets back. We will not be in close games at the last minute. You'll see the difference. You might be right. White Falcon been saying that since last. Yo, be civilized, man. Yeah, listen. White Falcon is on it, man. He ain't playing around. No, he is definitely not on the Randall train. He's like, let's get what we can for Randall. Oh, you man, starting it up. Yeah. To be fair, we were still in the close games when Mitch was out with his broken foot. It's true. And Noel was a big part of that. Noel helped us out a lot. I mean, Noel's blocks, he was top 3 in the league in blocks last year. White Falcon says, still Knicks fans, wings matter. 2 defensive wings who can do it all. Give Obi his starting position. Randall is not getting any touches. I'm not trading Fournier. Well, I'm with you on that. I'm not trading Fournier either. Fournier is the piece that I love the most on this team as far as an acquisition. I like him even more. It's not blasphemy, guys. Don't kill me. I like him even more than Kemba. Do I know how big Kimba's acquisition is? We need it from the point guard spot. Yes, but I just think if you just brought in Kimba, that wouldn't be enough. Fournier is a big piece of what they're trying to do here and what we got going on. So, Twin Towers address. Yeah, that's my idea about the two bigs, Mitch and Noel out there. That's interesting. Yeah, combine the two will make a great. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Mitch has better hands in traffic and transition versus Noel. Yeah, well, Noel's got he walks around with bricks. They're good for blocking the shot, but when he catches the ball, it's like his hands don't bend. It's like he's catching it like this. DS stay true, but he played the last 10 games last season and the playoffs, right? Same last 10 games. He was actually winning like with Mitch. I thought we were winning games now. Did I miss something here? Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's we're going through it right now. We're going through it. So we're going to be all right, guys. Well, you know what? Let me get to these last ones. 7-1 hours ever came from the world to join Mitch Robinson since 2019 season because I see value in both these centers. Yeah, there's value there. Since Mitch not 4 years now. This is who Mitch is entire career. 12 rebounds, 1 game. This and then 5. Yeah, I'm gonna end it there with that one. I agree that we still haven't seen too much of enough of Mitch to really say that, one, he deserves the bag fully, and two, that we know exactly what he's getting and he is solid and efficient at it. I think Mitch can change games. I think if we had a healthy Mitch last year against Atlanta, we might have won that series. I do believe that. I think that if Mitch came back healthy right now, like the Mitch of last year with the same body and same weight, you would see Mitch doing way more stuff out there on the court because he'd be so active because he was so quick and so springy, so jumpy. He was everywhere. But this is a new Mitch because he's got that weight and he's got to get his body accustomed to dealing with that weight and how it affects his leaping, his footwork, and just his overall game on the court. Just got to give him some time. Let's give him 15 games. Let's see where he's at, guys. Let's not give up on these guys too early. Let's not give up on Mitch too early. Let's not give up on Quickly too early because you know what? Any game can change everything. Monday night, for whatever reason, Quickly could go out there and light it up for 30 points, and then we'll all be like, "Yo, this is the Quickly we wanted. This is what I'm talking about." But we won't be talking about how we wanted to get rid of him or he's not the answer, all that stuff. We forget quickly. See what I did there? That was pun intended. We forget quickly. Just got to give us some chance, give us some time, and give them a chance to get everything right, man. It's a long season. That let's be happy. We're 5-1 atop the Eastern Conference division. Eastern Conference, should I say? We're good. We just got to get better and clean this stuff up. And it's going to be one of those things where, like I said before, once we clean that stuff up, other teams are going to be talking about us like, oh man, look at our schedule, man, we got to play this team, we got the Knicks. Yes, we got to get up, we got to get right for the Knicks because that could be a problem. That's what I want to see. So anyway, guys, hopefully we have a good showing on Monday. We play the Toronto Raptors. It should be interesting. We have had problems with Toronto in the past, and if you want to talk about these teams that we've been, playing poorly with down the stretch, Orlando and New Orleans, Toronto is a better team than those teams, if you ask me. So we got to take them seriously and go out there and make sure that we do what we got to do. So anyway, y'all have a great Sunday football day. Take it easy. Don't forget, if you're a Giant fan, Giants play on Monday night against Kansas City. It'd be nice to get another victory. I don't know, man. It's been a rough season for my New York Giants. Salute to everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your lives. Enjoy your families. Let's go Knicks. We out of here.